Hello and welcome to ChiefTutor.com's training videos and Chief Architect. Today we're going to be talking about swimming pools. Sometimes it can be kind of difficult to draw a swimming pool. There's a lot involved. Now they do have symbols you can plop in, but it never comes in the shape you need, right? Am I right? Of course I'm right. Of course. So we are going to start this off with a bang. And the bang is I just lost my plan from appearing on my screen the proper way. Okay, there we go. So we're going to start with a blank plan, much like my brain. And before you can put a swimming pool in a plan, you must create a terrain perimeter. And there it is. Let's take a look at this thing in 3D so we kind of understand what we're looking at while we build it. So I'm going to take this 3D picture and stick it over here to the left, but I'm going to be working here on my plan file. I'm going to start by just building a simple house to give us an understanding of the height of the terrain and the house. So we'll put a door in here. I'm going to select both these two end walls and I'm going to make them gable end, and double clicking the roof tool I'm going to build a roof and make sure my roof layer is turned on. Gives me a simple little house that I've built here, okay, on my terrain. And we'll notice the terrain is quite a bit lower than the door. That's probably how yours was generated as well. So that's the first thing I want to fix. So I'm going to double click this bad boy and I'm going to uncheck automatic, and I'm going to put my own building pad of 1 inch. Now what that means is I'm telling the computer to build the terrain 1 inch off of the floor height in the house. So I got a 1 inch drop there. Now let's quickly build our swimming pool, shall we? And the best way to do this, or the quickest way to do this, is to use a straight foundation wall. So I'm going to do a foundation here. I'm going to make sure the layer's turned on. Foundation wall, say here, and then maybe here and here. Just kind of give it an interesting shape, why don't we? Okay, there we go. And there's my swimming pool. Not bad, right? It's a little high, sure. It's going to be hard to climb up. Okay, I'll just go. Let's just put it where it belongs. Right in that terrain is where we need to put it. So I can select it here. I can select it over here. I can select it over here. I can select it over here. All right, Dave, that's enough. So the way that you want to do is selecting one or the other. You want to open up its room specifications. I double click it. You can also do that by highlighting it and choosing the open button. And it opens the command for the room specification. And we're going to go to the structure tab, and we're going to see the ceiling is set to 97.5 inches high. Yours might be a little higher or lower depending on how your computer sets it up. It's this first box here that changes that height. So since we made the ground at 1 or -1 to the 0 point of the lot, I'm going to say 1 just to keep it up for now. And then going down here to finish ceiling, I still want it a good 72 inches deep. And you might have to rearrange your little diagram to see what's going on. But basically, again, now my ceiling's at 1 inch, my floor is 72 below 1. Okay, click OK, and it drops it right back in there, which is really nice. Now let's color it up. I am going to go to my spray can if I can find it. I'm going to go into the 3D mode, and my spray can's available now. And let's type in here water. Why do we want water? Well, because the pool is filled with water. That's right. All right. And we'll pick this ugly color water. That seems good. I'm going to left click on it one time and I'm good to go. Now let's hit the rotation button so I can rotate. I'm going to go into the swimming pool, and let's color the sides of the swimming pool as well, because we got the ceiling now water, and now we want to get the rest of it the way we want. So I'm going to go back to the spray can and I'm going to type in here blue tile. And we'll see what pops up. Here's some blue tile, might be nice. Here's some blue tile, might be nice. I mean, there's all kinds of weird colors. Let's try that one. Why not? So I'm going to spray all the walls. So before I spray it, I'm going to make sure my sprayer's on R. R is for room, so it means it gets everything in the room, that blue. I'm just going to spray them both. Now I like to switch back to the C so I won't forget that I'm spraying individual things. That's what the C is for. And so I have this weird colored molding that's in the room, and we're going to use that to our advantage as well as the top. But you can see how the pool is taking shape. Looking pretty nice. So I'm going to go into the pool again. I'm under the water. I'm just going to double click into this room again. I'm going to go to my moldings tab, and I want to do a nice cove at the bottom, but I don't have a cove piece yet, so I'm going to make one. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to use my CAD tools. And if I'm on the 2D plan and highlighted, my highlighted tools appear from my CAD, and I'm just going to make a CAD box. And I'm going to select it. I'm going to drag this edge back to here. And now I have like a CAD triangle. I'm going to select this edge of the triangle. I'm going to arch it. I'm going to arch it like so. And that's a good cove of what I like. Now I need to save it to my library, so I'm going to save it to my library, and it's called molding. And I'm just going to right click and rename it, and we're going to call it pool mold, and I'll name mine number 2 because I believe I have a number 1. Okay, so going back into this plan, you'll notice if you activate the 3D view, your cursor changes to a molding. And that means when it rolls over a molding that it can change, see it change? So it's telling me, do you want this applied to that? And I sure do. So I left click one time and it appears. Whoa, it's kind of crazy. So I'm going to manipulate the size of it, but for now I'm going to pick up the color of the tile and apply it to this as well. And then I'm going to double click into the room again, go back to my moldings tab, and it's kind of crazy. So now I'm going to make it more like 18 by 18. And we can see it diagram there. That's that cove molding at the bottom, and it rounds it up kind of nicely. And it is kind of hard to see from there. You might have to manipulate the translucency on the water a bit, but you do see it happening, and it gives it a nice effect in the pool. Again, let's turn our lights back on so we can see it a little bit better. So you can kind of see what's going on, and you can adjust it and make it bigger if you feel you need to. Okay, we're not done there because we want to create a nice edge for the pool. Now, Chief already has the walls of the foundation on the edge, but we can make it even nicer. So I'm going to double click this bad boy, go back to my moldings tab, and this one we're going to leave alone. We're going to add a new one. And this time I'm going to choose one from their list. Go down to base molding, don't like any of those, don't like any of those. Certainly don't like any of those. How about the CA-13? Okay, we're going to take that sucker. And we're going to modify it a bit. I'm going to make it, maybe 15 width. And then the height maybe 7 inches. And then I'm going to show it here in the diagram. You can see where it's right at the top of the pool. But we want it to actually sit on top of the pool. See how it's checked here? That means it's sitting at the top. But if I uncheck it, it'll literally go to the top. And I notice my horizontal offset needs to be offset a bit. So I'm going to say -5. And you can see the molding start to move over. I'm going to do -6. And that might be good enough right there. Vertical offset is good, 15.7. It's going to sit on top of the pool as I'd hoped. And click OK. And there we go. Look at that. Pretty good. Now you see the molding's not quite covering the foundation all the way. So I can go back into here. I can go to my moldings tab. And I could say the width being 15, horizontal -7. That way it'll set it back a little further, and that's good. And then again, it's too high, right? So I'm going to double click this bad boy, go to my structure. Instead of 1, let's go -6. And thereby dropping the pool, okay? So it's dropping it into the foundation. And that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to do that just a little bit more. -7. And that's right about the point where I want it. So real quickly here, I've made a swimming pool. I've been able to color it. I've been able to cove it. And I've been able to give it a nice cap. And it's just taken about 8 minutes. Not long at all. So we don't need that anymore. Excuse me. I don't need that anymore. I don't need that mold anymore. And I'm going to zoom into my pool, and I'm going to show you now we can reshape the pool if we want to. Like, check this out. I'm going to round this edge, and let's say we round this edge, and I don't know, let's say we pull this edge out. And remember, it disconnected here, these two lines, so the pool went away, but that's okay. If I hold down Control and grab one corner, I better yet Alt, grab one corner, I can place it back up there. I can even bend it some more. Looks good. And why don't we do something even better? Why don't we cut into the foundation here and drag this section out, and we'll make like a set of steps. And I'm just going to kind of continue both edges. So I can continue making the pool. I can even take a set of stairs now and wrap it on up to the edge. Whoa, not bad. Not good, but okay, let's double click. And in my stair specifications, we can remove a few things. For instance, I don't need any of this. Everything here looks good. Stringers, I don't really need a stringer. Brake lines, railings, we definitely don't need railings. Let's turn those railings off. We don't need that. Everything else seems good. Click OK. And let's go back to the 3D and underwater, and let's just color this bad boy, shall we? So it all kind of matches. There we go. and then making sure it's wide enough to cover the edges of the pool to make it look really good. Oh, looks like I went too far here. So I'm going to pull this pool back and just shove it right where it belongs here and right where it belongs there. That way the pool kind of molds, if we look, right into this. And it looks like I still have some stringers sticking through. Don't need those side stringers, so we'll go to 1. That seems good. And then maybe the last thing we'll do is we'll cap it with some concrete. So why don't we do this? We select the pool after we got the shape we want, and I'm going to make a baseline polyline out of it. I'm going to hold down C, concentric move, and I'm kind of moving this out to where I have a good walk around distance. And I'm going to drag this in just over here. And I'm going to convert this line here now to a terrain feature. And by doing that, I'll put a little cement around it. So I'm going to say option height will be 0, thickness of my slab is going to be 4. And then if you go into, let's see, coloring things, let's get some colors going. How about Dave's user catalog? What do we have here? Got textures 2020, 2019. I think 2017 is where I had the nice outdoor textures. There we go. I mean, we got so many choices, right? We can plug it with this guy. We can plug it with some grass and stone. I could just use some regular stone. Here we go. Nice regular stone. That looks good. In fact, let's just make it even more impressive. We'll take the texture up to, say, 120 size by 120, and we'll rotate it about 40 degrees. That way it looks more random. And there is building a swimming pool here at ChiefTutor.com. It's just a quick, fast, and easy way to manipulate, change, and make things, kind of stand out, seem kind of like a wow factor for your clients. And you can even decorate the sides and the colors and paint anything and everything you want with this, and then reshape the pool if need be as you're designing. So that's a really helpful tip. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something new, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.